Hello, everyone. We are over two very serious cases. So we became really serious. So we start smiling now. That's what we decided to do. Just a little bit lightening up. It's not easy to talk about these kind of really serious cases. People are coming to us with struggles, maybe decades of struggles. And we are just smiling, and that's like so contradicting, it's like unbelievable because we know that there is a solution, we know already that it's okay, everything will be okay. Just rest, have some peace.
And to feel this wonderful feeling, so to know the steps of it and to it is why we can actually introduce and feel good, so we can laugh. We're never laughing on anybody's cases because everybody's struggle is a nightmare. And I believe that the biggest challenge is when it's happening with us. So we would like to give the codes how they can get over if they're willing to follow.
Yeah, but I do experience it from time to time, especially at the first meetings, that this is the greatest help we can give, that the assurance of just let us tell you how to deal with this because we have the conviction already. And this is the greatest gift we can give to anyone, at the first time. So I have a question to you, because we did mention the protocol several times. And in the last interview, you mentioned milk and egg whites. And I would like to ask you to mention me one or two cases, if it's quick, even two or more, about egg whites, because my clients are asking me, like, some of them don't even understand why egg whites. Some of them noticed the problem with the eggs, but they don't, like, then they started to avoid egg as it is. So would you talk about, this issue, because we really have to learn this, please.
If I can be very simple, I would like to. The milk and the egg white are growth hormones in the nature. Like if we see milk is the needed for the cows when they're born. But after a year, when the milking age is over, they go and they eat grass. In other words, they don't need this growth hormone anymore. If you see the chicken, which grows in the egg, the yellow itself is the chicken. The white is the growth hormone, which is as much or as far as needed, as long as the chicken is ready to break out. These two growth hormones are the favorite subject of, for example, even cancer. Basically, it's very easy to describe or to understand, because we stop growing. Something will grow inside us. Now, these are the problems. It has been observed, and these results can be found again on the internet, that today's scientific report shows huge number, I think it's around 50-60% of men suffers from prostate problems, and women suffers from cysts and myomas. These are the two growth hormones which is at the background, which is causer of these problems. And as always, or as usual, we are bringing a case study together with the protocol. There's a lady who's a good friend of mine, turned to us for help, who have been diagnosed with cervical myoma. We have to know that it's not a cancer, but it could turn to it, as far as I see the medical reports. So I said to her, because we went through several steps, She was already gluten-free at the time, and she changed her back position. It has been defined. She immediately felt the difference. She was working on a kitchen as a how you call a waiter, maybe. She was organizing a whole restaurant, and she loved to have eggs, and she was drinking milk. So I asked her, or recommended her, to remove the egg and the milk from her nutrition.
Like you mean the egg white? You mean the egg white?
The egg white, it's, yes, thanks for the question. It's very important because the yellow,
it's the yolk. The yolk, yeah.
The yolk itself is very beneficial for us in vitamins, in minerals, in goodies, in amino acids, essential amino acids it contains. So in case of eggs, we separate the yolk, what I'm using as well in my everyday life, and I love it. For example, in the morning, but we never eat, and I actually flush the white, the protein. It's not only a growth hormone, but it's also very sticky, like a glue. Imagine to drop it down to the floor, and then it's sticking on the floor. It causing a lot of digestive issues, and it leads to grow these kind of sensitive organ problems, if I can say this way, to us. So when she did removed these foodstuffs, and parallel she received the reading with matrix drops computer, we have been choosing those informations to reset her information patterns, which was involved in case of the problem.
So so what you mean is that, like, let's say I was eating eggs just as it is, and you are saying, I'm suggesting you to avoid egg whites. And then I start to avoid egg whites, but I can ask for the information pattern that is fixing this problem in me the same time.
The food, especially the hormone, triggers hormone informational disturbances inside us. For example, because we mentioned one case. Of course, in this case, by matrix drops computer advice, which compares 8 million of these behavior patterns with a person who does the reading, exactly shows where the disturbance is. So it's a great help for ourselves to go with the recommendation, and of course, to recommend those patterns which was involved by every individual.
So the pattern that has been the pattern that has been recognized by the computer, it was not the egg white, but it was the hormone disbalance.
Exactly, because we do the reading on our biosensor, which the computer is connecting with. So what it sees, it's the disturbance what was caused by the food.
I see. So then she started to avoid egg whites, and she started to balance the unbalanced
information disturbances.
I see.
I think it was possibly 4 drops involved. And you mentioned that possibly people think it's such a very expensive way of life. It's not. So I don't want to mention, but it's very, very, very affordable for everyone. She went through this treatment, and I think, as far as I remember, it happened actually last year, a month after she went back, because the doctor previously said to her that she might need an operation. She was negative, so it disappeared.
How much time?
1 month.
1 month. And you mentioned 4 drops. It doesn't mean that 4 drops of water. It means that
4 patterns of matrix drops was involved in her case, what she was taking during this 1 month time.
The matrix drops is the name of the company, and they are giving like 4 different kind of information patterns that have to be balanced in her case. And
The
she
matrix
has a
ops,
schedule for that.
the matrix ops computer is choosing from maybe possibly 3,000 different information patterns. Of course, in case of an information or hormonal disturbances, another informations involved, which have been chosen by the system, than in case of heavy metal, accumulation of heavy metal, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Or in case of somebody have information disturbance caused by a vitamin deficiency, it's another information. For parasites, bacteria, different information. So the computer, matrix ops computer compares 8 millions, and we have an armada, which at the moment it's around 3,000 different remedies. And because the matrix ops computer scan everyone as an individual, which is amazing possibility, one of its amazing gift, it's exactly choose those patterns which is choose or suitable for the individual.
I see. So she went to you, she had this diagnosis already. So you did not diagnose her. She
Never
brought the
did.
diagnosis, and then she has been scanned. So that was one expense for her, that she had one scan. You offered her to apply 4 different kinds of information patterns, and in 1 month she went back to the doctor and the myoma disappeared.
Exactly.
So it was like, okay, when I was in California, one bottle of these drops was around between $20-$30. That's what I remember. I don't know, since then it was like 2016, but I doubt that it would change like 20% or more. So then let's say that she spent like $150 for the drops, and then she had the scan, which is like about how much? Like it's you are scanning for euros, but like it's, let's say it's in America between, like, I don't know, $200, $300, $400. I don't know, but even if it's 400, even if it's 200, it's way beyond, way under $1,000 for sure. And she solved the whole issue.
It's very, very affordable. It won't cost as much as people usually do think it is.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about is price and not value. The value haven't been named.
Yes.
The one who's choosing to give responsibility and take responsibility for themselves,
You mean
and
responsibility?
follow the matrix protocol itself, by setting up the protocol in their life, they will achieve a really good and amazing well-being. Addiction to it, if they follow the protocol forward and they choose matrix drops, the value of it is surprisingly high. This is what we can and we have to talk about. For something to demanifest, which was present in the system, like a cervical myoma, to make it disappear for such a less value. Now, this is something we're talking about.
Yeah, and what people don't think about many times is that the stress and the consequences of an operation, a surgery. So how great risk it is, itself, just a surgery itself. How much options, opening up for any kind of viruses and bacteria to receive, during the surgery, and the emotional effect of it, and the consequences, what is happening during, the surgery. So it's unbelievable that she was avoiding that. Thank you. That was a very, very good example. So this was basically about the hormone problems. what you were talking about, and you were talking about the prostate problems for men.
It's a basic step of a protocol, and as we said in previously, again, by making a mistake or don't know something which is a key information in our life, there will be problem followed. For this, matrix drops protocol as a complex surrounds all these things as a ready method, as a ready lifestyle, and this is what we are advising to follow as matrix drops instructors.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was a very, very good example. So
thank you very much.
Thank you. So we are saying goodbye now, and we will come back from time to time with some stories and some examples for you. Even like if you are just a new listener or you are coming back from different interviews, then you still can, in the comments, you can ask, you know, maybe if there is a question, you know, we can make an interview about that. So let's go back to these cases and let's talk about these, you know, deeper and deeper. Thank you very much for your time. We really do appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.